one and I stand on that. You and me, babe, that's black on black.
Rena's been holding on. She wants to talk about Eric Adams. She's in Chicago. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show. Thank you for holding. Hello, Rena.
What can I say about Eric Adams? I just hope he didn't do it. I mean, he's like a pretty decent guy from what I'm looking at for your mayor, because we have a lot of people have a lot of skepticism when I'm there too, Mayor. Here in Chicago.
Let me ask you this, because you said he seems like a decent guy. There are New Yorkers that would disagree with you, right? I feel like anybody that has been a lifelong law officer of the law, I'm already raising an eyebrow, because if you could be a part of a system that stopped and frisked and brutalized, and granted, he started an organization called Black Law Enforcement. What was it? What the hell was his name? Mark Claxton, and he started Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care. I think that was the organization that he founded, he and Mark Claxton, because I would talk with them like 25 years ago when I did my radio show on WWRL. Frequently, I would have them on to talk about police brutality and things like that. Something happened when he decided he wanted to be mayor, I think. And it's the corruptible nature of power and celebrity and money that it invariably changes people, So maybe he started out holding accountable, but I feel like there needs to be way more whistleblowers among police than we see right now. We don't see a whole lot of people saying, hey, I'm a cop and here's where the bad cops are. I don't see that a lot, even though I see a lot of, things, people being indicted right now. But Rena, why do you think he's seems like a good guy, and you're in Chicago, so you have a lot of experience with people being corrupted in those seats?
Yes, most definitely, a lot of corruption in Chicago. But the fact is, I think he, being mayor, he kind of did a little bit of turnaround. It looks like, I think that he's trying to make the city better. I don't know from your standpoint, because everybody seems to, when they voted for him, they seemed like that he liked the guy, but I'm sure that many people knew about his background before they voted for him. So I don't think it's any surprise that he was that kind of person before he was voted in. He had that.
All right. So I assumed you were from New York, Rena. So you're not from New York. It's clear to me, because you started with people liked him. No. So New York did something called ranked voting for the first time, which was weird. And so you had this ballot where you would rank your first, second, and third choices, and then they would put that in a pot. And voting, I think, was confusing to a lot of people. I don't think a lot of folk even voted ranked choice voting. There were a lot of other candidates that I think cannibalized one another. Maya Wiley, and there was another woman that I had on the show whose name escapes me right now. There was Ray. Why am I forgetting? Because I want to call him McCrary, but that wouldn't be right. That's his wife's last name. But there were a lot of people that I think people liked, but in their ranking, he leaned in, Eric Adams, to kind of keep the city tough on crime. He leaned into that, right? And so people want that. I don't know if he made the city better. And I don't even know if that's his intention. Maybe he's looking at higher office. I'm not sure what his intent is, but you called to defend him. Why? I'm just curious.
Because the guy, I mean, you have to be tough on crime. Just like here in Chicago, we have a lot of problems in Chicago with crime. Back in the 80s and 90s, I mean, even with the crack, cocaine, and everything like that, our neighborhood was not destroyed. We had a South Side that was booming. We had all the businesses and things like that. And we didn't have that much crime. I mean, we had crime, but we didn't have that much. You understand what I'm saying? And we were able to do a lot of things. The guns, of course, was not a part of our upbringing. We had guns, but we did not have this gunfight every other weekend here in Chicago. And that's what I'm saying. So I think I kind of think that he should be tough on crime like anybody else. Like, even as a parent, I'm tough on things like that. Because there's so many of us are going the opposite direction as opposed to when we were growing up. I just don't know where this generation is going to go. Where they
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Rena, don't do that. Don't do that. And I do it. So I'm hearing myself right now talk through you. You know, when I was coming up, we could stay outside till the lights came on and nobody was getting snacks. But we didn't have milk cartons and people were absolutely getting snatched and touched and molested and trafficked. Everything was happening when we were growing up. There was crime. It just wasn't as prevalent. And I would ask this question as we examine the crime that's in our neighborhood. Ooh, to what extent are we responsible through electing people and tough on crime? I was just I forgot who was just in London. Oh, Urias just came back from Great Britain, somebody on my team, and he was remarking, first of all, how clean the streets were, but also that none of the police carry guns and there's no crime. So what does tough on crime look like? And I think it starts with having a standard for behavior and accountability, right? Which more police do. Will more police make it safer? Because the only time I call police is after a crime is being committed. I want them there before the crime is being committed. I need you to stop the car from being stolen. I need you to stop the person from coming into my house. Like, where are you then? You're just there to fill out a report. Maybe you find somebody stole something from my house a few years ago. It's still gone. And I know who did it and told them, and they didn't go get it. So I'm just like, well, okay, y'all know who did it. Go get my stuff, you know, but they haven't. So I'm like, at the end of the day, more policing, particularly in New York, has put more Black men in particular in jail. And the crime has, you know, and under the guise of, you know, crime going down, it's so complicated. You know, if you over police a situation, what you do is you demonize an entire community. And as Black folk, we got to be real careful. At the same time, we shouldn't live under siege in our own neighborhoods. So that means that there's some social responsibility as well that we should have. I feel like maybe we should take a stronger role in securing our neighborhoods and electing people who are going to have a vision for what it looks like to provide opportunities for people. Because I feel like, again, if folk have jobs or they have means and resources, they're not necessarily coming to, you know, kill you and sell drugs in the community. If I could make more money in a job than I can on the corner, I think I would probably work that job, maybe. And if there were, you know, social kind of like an understanding that this is better than that. But again, over policing have stripped us of men in the community that would set the bar for what it means to, you know, behave a certain kind of way. We got a lot more having these kind of, this is why I played the Umar Johnson clip, having these armchair backseat driving kind of commentary around the ails of society without looking at the systemic way in which on purpose certain neighborhoods and communities are not just demonized, but crime is allowed to flourish. I always say the police know where the criminals are. Why aren't they locking them up? You know who's selling drugs in the community. Why aren't you targeting them instead of randomly frisking and stopping regular ass people? You know who's selling the drugs. Are you in it? Are you in it? Like I have questions. I have questions.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you love's think